guys, welcome back to my channel, Road to the Philippines. Danny here. Today is first day of December 2020, and it's kind of a little bit chilly out today. As before, I appreciate if you guys would subscribe to my channel, hit the like button if you like my videos, and share, and all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. I don't have too many subscribers as of right now. I guess I haven't quite found my audience yet. Hopefully in time I will. But yeah, any likes, subscriptions, comments, anything would be greatly appreciated. Okay. Like I said, it's first day of December, and as a lot of you know, what's going on in the news today, those vaccines for COVID-19 are going to be rolling out here pretty soon. I know there's different variations as far as the vaccines. The top three, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and what's the other one? Moderna. They just came out. I mean, they all seem to have, claim that they're pretty efficient vaccines, ranging from like 90% up to like 94, 95%. Yeah, I don't know what to think about it, to be honest. I think they're going to have a difficult time, convincing people to get the vaccine. I mean, first of all, if there's no reward for getting the vaccine, then who's gonna get stuck with something that they're uncertain about, and they don't quite know what the side effects are going to be and all that, right? But yeah, I don't. They say that even after getting the vaccine, you still got to wear your mask, you still got the social distance and all that. So, what's the incentive? That's what I want to know. I mean, if it comes down to it, and they're like, "Hey, Danny, if you want to go, you want to travel, you want to see your girl Irene over in the Philippines, then yeah, you're gonna have to get proof of having gotten the vaccine." And I mean, if that's what I have to do, then that's what I have to do. I mean, I hope it doesn't come down to that, but like I said, I'll be the first one in line if that's the case. Because I want to see Irene. It's been almost a year and a month now, almost, and still nothing. The Philippines, they're still closed to other countries, and they're getting more strict with their lockdowns. I mean, the town of Valencia, which is close to Dumaguete, they're shutting down, locking down the entire town for like a couple weeks, quarantining the whole town, man. So I don't know what's going to happen. I just hope this ends soon, But it looks like Pfizer is. They're getting ready to have, 327,000 doses being delivered to California. But there's like 2.4 million healthcare workers out there. So, I mean, that's just a small portion of that population. I mean, more power to them. I guess time will tell. I don't know. Moderna, they claim that they're 100% effective against severe cases of COVID-19. Okay, so you get the vaccine, and they're 100% effective. You won't get severe cases. You won't be placed on the ventilator after getting it. So I guess that's good, right? What else is going on? Moderna. I mean, right now they're trying to go through the FDA right now to get this emergency use authorization. So it's it's going to be showing up here in Missouri soon, so stand by. You know, I mean, what do you guys think about it? I mean, you know, make a comment on the video below. Are you going to get it? Are you not going to get it? I mean, I kind of like to know what everyone else thinks about it. You know, I mean, what if your job makes it mandatory? If you don't get the vaccine, you can't work. Are you still going to get it? Or are you going to refuse it? I mean, I like to know. Same way with travel. If they say, hey, we'll let you travel to wherever you want to go if you get the vaccine, are you going to get it or not? I would really like to hear some people's comments on that. The main reason for my video today was I want to go more in depth on my little checkoff list before I went over to the Philippines last year. I mean, there were several things that I mentioned before, you know, about the passport and the international driving permit and all that stuff. But, you know, with any foreign country, I mean, you really got to do your research. You know, for example, I mean, as with any country, you're going to have diseases that are prevalent in those countries. Diseases that aren't here, but they are over there. So you really got to do your research on, you know, what I got to look out for. You know, do I need to get vaccinated before going over there? You know, you know, before I went over there, you know, I talked to my healthcare provider, and you know, unfortunately, I didn't talk to her soon enough because, you know, apparently there were some, you know, vaccines that I could have gotten, you know, before going over there. But, you know, I waited too long to talk to her. And, you know, it probably takes a while to get those vaccines in, first of all. You know, some of the diseases that are kind of prevalent over there is, you know, cholera, which is found in water, which with a lot of countries, including the Philippines, you don't want to drink water out of the tap water. Kind of like Mexico. You don't want to drink out of the tap. I mean, you know, those countries aren't like, you know, they're not like the United States. You know, they don't have the EPA that's overseeing, you know, stuff like, you know, the environment, you know. So you got to really be careful. You know, for example, you know, like if you went to Mexico, I've been to Mexico numerous times. I used to live in San Diego back when I was in the Navy, and I used to go to Tijuana all the time, and that was one of the things they told us: don't drink the water down there, you know, because it can make you severely ill and cause you to have diarrhea and all this. But one of the things you got to look out for too. You know, a lot of people don't think about this. You know, let's say you go and get a soda with ice. Where'd they get the ice? Did they get the ice from out of the tap, or did they, you know, order it from somewhere and it was shipped in? You know, like a margarita. You know, what's in a margarita? It's crushed ice. You know, so you got to be careful. You know, you could be very, you know, be very cautious and avoid tap water, but then, you know, you can get sick from just eating the ice. You know, so you got to be careful. You know, say when you're in the Philippines, you gotta think about what, you know, you gotta think about stuff like that. Dengue is something that's transmitted through like mosquitoes. It can cause fever, rash, joint pain, and in severe cases cause bleeding, severe bleeding, and shock. So I mean, that's something you got to look for out over there. I mean, I've heard of people getting it, and you know, it took several days to get over it, maybe a couple of weeks, and they're okay. But that's, like I said, you got to be careful when you go over to different countries. You got to do your research, you know. diphtheria, which was transmitted through cough and sneezing and saliva. You know, diphtheria is something that we get vaccinated for over here. It's part of the DTaP vaccine. Diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis. But there's a lot of countries don't have the same type of vaccinations like we do over here. A year ago this month, Irene was severely ill, and she's lucky she's alive. She is very lucky that she's alive. And I'll talk about that on a future video about what happened with her over there. Malaria is another problem that they have over there. From insect bites or bites from animals. It causes fever and chills. Again, whatever country you go through, just do your research before you go over there. Okay, you got to be vigilant. You got to be proactive. You got to do your due diligence and find out everything you can about this country, any country before you go. But like I was saying, the checklist that I had before I went, the passport, start on it early because it's going to take a minute to get that thing. Matter of fact, before I even started, or before I even met Irene, I had my passport because I knew that eventually I was going to go somewhere. I just didn't know where. So I'm glad I started on that early because it took a couple months, 2 or 3 months to get from start to end. It took 2 or 3 months to get everything done. Like I mentioned before, the international driving permit. You don't have to have that. I never used it over there, but I had it just in case. Funny thing is, at that time I had insurance through American Family Insurance, right? And I was like, I better go in and talk to that guy and tell him about my trip to the Philippines, right? I went in there and I asked him. I said, just kind of curious. I'm getting ready to go on a trip to the Philippines. Will I be able to use my full coverage insurance while I'm over there? And he's like, hell no. I mean, he didn't really explain, why. But I can understand why once I got over there because the traffic was just, oh man, it was crazy. But yeah. I mean, they do have insurance that's available over there, and they recommend it. If you're going to be driving over there. I mean, that's something I'm not going to worry about until I'm living over there permanently. That's years down the road, so I'm not going to worry about that for a while. Pesos. I mentioned make sure you got pesos with you when you go there. I mean, you can go to the exchange rate or the exchange stores in the airports. I didn't want to take that chance, so I went ahead and I got like $1,000 worth, which that was about 42 to 43,000 pesos, maybe 44,000 pesos equivalent. The exchange rate here is not as good as over there. I mean, if you want to save a few dollars, I mean, you can take a chance and find an exchange rate store when you get over there. But I didn't want to take that chance, so I went ahead and got it here before I took off. I got through AAA. What else? Clothes. Clothes is an important thing, especially if you're a chubby guy like myself. I wore 2X. Trying to find any place in the Philippines that sells anything larger than anything larger than a large, um, yeah, good luck. I did manage to find a place at the mall. They have beautiful malls out there, by the way. I mean, gorgeous malls. But inside the department stores, I mean it's difficult to find anything in a larger size. And funny, we went to this one place and it said in the section it was like it said U.S. sizes. I don't know what they're trying to tell us. For you fat Americans, you're going to have to go over here and buy your clothes. And let me tell you, those clothes, there was they were not attractive clothes. Let me say, they were not attractive at all. You know, but I did buy some clothes over there. You know, I mean, you had to search for clothes. I mean, it took forever to find your size, and then it took forever to find something that looked appealing, right? So that's why I suggest buy all your clothes before you go over there, and underwear. I mean, underwear, shorts. Buy everything that you're gonna wear over there, and buy it as if you're not gonna be finding a laundromat for three. I went over there for 3 weeks, so you better have 3 weeks worth of clothes. I mean, it was even difficult trying to find socks for my shoes, because I wore tennis shoes everywhere most of the time. I mean, I did wear sandals, but I remember trying to find a black pair of socks because I wore black socks, and I still do. And man, I did find a pair, but they were so damn thick. It's like, dang, I can barely get my shoes on after buying these things. Yeah. Underwear, oh my goodness. Again, with the sizes, that was quite an undertaking. Another thing, international phone plan. Wow, I'm still trying to figure that one out. I mean, I go through AT&T, and I do have a phone, international phone plan. But it's like once everything was trial and error when I went over there. The international phone plan that I used that up within maybe a few hours of being over there. I mean, it was just sucking my data up like you wouldn't believe. Now I've heard of places, I watched other YouTubers that are like, you can go to the airport, go to a cell phone place, and get a SIM card for the Philippines. Well, I'm not very tech savvy, so trying to do that kind of stuff, I'm just not really comfortable. I mean, I really need to figure it out because, it would save me a lot of money because you can buy a lot of data, for just a few thousand pesos, which would save me a ton of money because, man, it was like every few days, it was costing me. I don't remember. I don't remember how much they were charging me, but for the first, gosh, I wish I could remember. It was like, the international plan was like $100 and some, right? And like I said, I blew through that within no time at all. And then they would offer you like 1 gigabyte of data for like $30 or some crazy ass shit. 1 gigabyte. I mean, I really had to watch what I was doing, with my phone. I had to make sure that, either my phone was turned off all the time or was in airplane mode, or because the second that I would turn it on, I would have all these stuff coming in, notifications for this and that, and my emails and all that. Which just that loading up on my phone would use up a ton of my data, So I really had to make sure, that wherever we went, we had to have Wi-Fi because I just know the next time I got to figure out how to do this whole SIM card thing because I can't be doing that every time I go over there. That's ridiculous. um, Another thing that you need to do is let your bank and your credit card companies know what you're doing. You need to go online or call somebody and say, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go to the Philippines. Don't deny any transactions simply because all of a sudden there's transactions from the Philippines or wherever you're going." Uh, Luckily I didn't have any problems, because I went on there and I did everything I was supposed to do. I was a little nervous, using my bank card over there. I'll talk about that in another video, but yeah, it was nerve wracking, especially when I was running out of my pesos, and I was like, oh shit, I'm about to be in trouble here if I can't get some money quick. Here's another thing. A lot of places, or a lot of videos I've seen, they say notify the U.S. Embassy of where you're going. I didn't do that. I probably should have, but I didn't. They say that's for your own safety. That way, you run into trouble. I don't know what the U.S. Embassy is going to do. Say I got out there and was kidnapped or whatever. What are they going to do? They're going to send out a search party for me? Come on. But you definitely need to let family and friends know what you're doing, right? It's funny. My coworkers, you guys are funny. Some of them, some of my coworkers, were worried about me going over there. Even one guy I work with, he's been over to the Philippines, several times, and he's like, "Well, who are you going over there with?" I was like, "Well, I'm going over there by myself." He's like, "Man, you are brave going over there, But he was excited for me to go over there, but he thought, I was getting kind of worried, And some of my other coworkers were, they were making me feel worried too, man. They're like, "Danny, you're gonna get over there, and you're gonna wake up in a bathtub full of ice with your kidney missing." I was like, "Wow, guys, you're really making me feel really secure right now." But I was like, "You all can say all the crazy shit you want to say. It's not going to stop me from going over there." I have to admit, I was scared to death going over there for the first time. I just met Irene, 3 months earlier, right? And here I am flying 8,000, how many miles? 8,334 miles to meet somebody that I met on the internet and I hadn't met him in person. I'd never done anything like that in my life, but I did, and I'm glad I did. But in a future video, I'll be talking about all that and going over there for the first time. What else? Like I said, travel insurance. In case something happens, you need to be emergency evacuated from the Philippines. You can get insurance for that. That was a pretty nominal fee. It was like $60, $70, $80. I thought, that was worth its weight in gold if something were to happen. Because you never know what can happen over there. One of the things I got before I went was a new phone. I knew that the Philippines is surrounded by water, and the old phone that I had was like a iPhone 6 Plus, and it wasn't waterproof. So yeah, I forked up some, well, I didn't pay for it outright. I got a monthly plan for it, but I upgraded my phone, and I'm glad I did. I didn't drop it in any water or anything, but I wasn't gonna take that chance. Cost for my plane ticket. The first time over there, I think it was like $1,100, somewhere around there. I can't remember what U.S. Who took me to LA? I think it was United Airlines, I think. I think they're the ones that took me to LA. And then once I got to LA, I hopped on Philippine Airlines. PAL, Philippine Airlines. And went from LA to Manila, and then Manila to Davao City, which is on the island of Mindanao. That was quite an experience in itself. I missed my flight in Manila, and I'll be talking about that in another video too. That was one of the other things you need to make sure when you go to the airport, you know, unless you take an Uber or somebody takes you to the airport or drops you off, if you decide to leave your car there, it's going to cost you a pretty penny to do that. I just liked having my own car there, so that when I got home, I didn't have to wait on anybody. I didn't have to rely on anybody. I didn't have to go through these channels of, you know, getting a taxi or Uber, none of that. You know, all I had to do was get off the plane, take a shuttle, get in my car, and go. Well, that convenience of being able to do that, you know, and I parked next to the terminal, right? Well, close to it anyway. And that ended up costing me $525. I mean, that was pretty damn ridiculous for $525 just for my car to sit out. And it wasn't even in covered parking. It was out it was on the top deck. So, yeah, I think next time I'm going to have to figure something else out. Cause come on, man. That's $525 just for my car to sit there. I mean, come on, man. What else? Oh, yeah. Shoot. Here's some things that you want to make sure you have your own electronics when you go over there. Electronics, in my opinion, are more expensive over there. So, some of the things that I got this rechargeable thing. I don't know if you can read that, but it's a travel converter and adapter, and that's what it looks like inside. All right, but I didn't need none of this shit. I thought that I didn't know what kind of outlets I was going to run into when I got over there, so I picked this up thinking I was going to need it so I could, plug this in to the adapter and then use that to plug into the wall outlets. Well, come find out, this worked just fine. Right? It's my cell phone charger. It converts. It's good for 100. Like it says, 120 to 240 volts. So I didn't even use this at all. This was a waste of money. Right? This here, a rechargeable. My charge. This was kind of handy too. You can plug that in, and it's got a couple of adapters here. Let me see. It's got one. Ew, where's my camera? Oh, you got one for the iPhone, and you got one for Android phones. So you can charge up, and there's a thing on the back too. You can plug in there. So you can charge 3 devices on here at the same time. And I did actually use this when I got over there, so I'm glad I got this. If you're on a long flight, which I'll discuss how long that flight was, one of these could come in handy if you need to recharge your phone, right? Or laptop or whatever you're using. Which I would highly recommend you get a laptop or something to keep you entertained, because that's one long ass flight going over there. Another thing is that yeah, actually Irene got me this when I got over there. This thing, wow, I love this thing. It's got I was able to carry my money in here, my phone, my wallet, my passport, everything conveniently in here. You know, and I can carry it on my shoulder, and this would be, you know, hanging in front of me. So I always knew where it was at, because, you know, I'm afraid of, you know, getting pickpocketed or whatever over there. So that was really super handy. Thank you, Irene. I mean, I bought some stuff before I went over there. I mean, for my toiletries and whatever. You know, this is what I was going to originally use, this fanny pack crap, but I didn't use that because that was just bullshit. But definitely, you know, the item Irene got me, that one definitely worked. All right. But yeah, I can't think of it. What does it say? Irene. Oh, Irene's texting me. So that means it's time for me to go, guys. Like I said before, please subscribe to my channel, guys. Come on, give me a break. I mean, I've had close to 500 views on my channel with my videos, and I only have 16 subscribers. Come on, man. Please like my videos. Subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel, man. And hit the bell icon so you know what, so you're notified when I put out another video. That's all I got, guys. I hope you continue to tune in and travel along with me, or at least follow along with me on my road to the Philippines.